Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And I just came across a video by Athlean-X, Jeff Cavalier, working with Jesse, who I still don't think has made any impressive gains, and that's just my honest opinion, discussing things they learned with back training. And you know, there was some good stuff and there was some useless stuff in here. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And you know, this is one of these things that I need to address from time to time. I don't necessarily dislike Jeff, and so people need to understand that. I do give respect where respect is due to the guy for a lot of his physical therapy stuff. In fact, there was some physical therapy related stuff in this video that I thought was gold, absolute gold, and those things are worth seeing, but I also thought there was a lot of useless garbage in there. And here's what a lot of this comes down to. You know, when I make these videos, people will come in and say silly stuff like, well, look at Jeff's physique versus yours, which basically means that he has less body fat than me. So usually what you guys are trying to say is you should be taking his diet advice and my lifting advice. That's what you're saying, because I'm a hell of a lot bigger and stronger than him, and we're in the same age bracket. He is a lot leaner than me. So, I mean, if someone were to look at that and say, okay, if you're going to go just on appearance, and people do that, they're like, let's just throw out knowledge or common sense or anything else, just appearance, you would listen to him regarding what? Biceps in your diet, right? Guy's got good biceps. He has zero chest, zero back, like they're non-existent. I mean, for me as an actual strength athlete, I would not look at his chest and think that this guy has any appreciable training history. I just wouldn't think that. Same thing with his back is I don't think it's particularly well developed. There's a lot of weaknesses there. And I'm surprised that he can chin up as much as he can. That actually surprised me. I would expect more back development just from that exercise, but again, it's probably why he has the biceps that he has. So people need to put that in perspective. If you were to use someone as anecdote, why would you go to someone who has all biceps and is really lean but like no chest, and you know back is mediocre? Why would you then use that as anecdote? That doesn't make sense. So back to the point though. You take someone like Jeff with what he's doing. The two things I thought were golden had to do with the palm stuff with the pull-ups or chin-ups. Yeah, absolutely legit. And I know he's broken down in videos as to why that is. And that is absolute gold. And I'm telling you guys, I'm a big supporter of weighted pull-ups and weighted chin-ups. I don't care what you compete in, what your sport is, what your aesthetic goals are. I think weighted pull-ups and weighted chin-ups are one of the lifts that are not optional. They should be mandatory in your routine, one of those two. And like for me, I do weighted pull-ups 3 times a week, right? And I always tell guys, one of the strength standards you need to get to is to where you can do a pull-up or a chin-up from a dead hang with 100 pounds, right? That should be a goal for most of you out there, and that includes you fat power lifters. I know a lot of you guys are like, man, I can't do any pull-ups. Well, then maybe we need to talk about your body composition. You know, because that's my sport. That's what I'm into. But a lot of you guys, you are too fat. You are too fat, and you don't have the pull-up power you need. You probably deadlift more if you fix that. You know, and you'd probably be in a better weight class with a better Wilks. You know, weighted pull-ups, absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. I think it's a must-do exercise. And so when he does talk about stuff as far as stopping inflammation and things like that with that exercise and improving your strength on it, I'm on board. So I do want to address that first, because that was great. It did have to do with where you get that bar in your palm. Being able to get it further up the palm so that you're not down here, because what happens on a pull-up or a chin-up, when you get this wrist bent, you do get a lot of inflammation down here on the forearm. And I know what he's talking about because I've experienced it myself, and that fix actually does work. And if you can remove that inflammation there, you get stronger, you can do more training volume, and if you can do more training volume and more weight on pull-ups and chin-ups, your back is going to be more developed. No question about it. No question about it. The face pulls, particularly for people with certain upper back weaknesses, face pulls are fantastic. And yes, Jeff does teach them in what I think is the correct way. He gets that on point, you know, again, that overhand grip where you pull back like this, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Face pulls are great. I do face pulls. I do them with bands. I think they're a great prehab exercise. I think they're a great rehab exercise. And again, having stronger rear delts, stronger traps and everything else from doing those, better rotators, you know, stronger rotator cuffs, yeah, that will carry over to the foundation for your back development. It will help you with your back. It'll help you with your back. As far as anything else goes, though, I don't think that you really need most of the stuff that he threw in there. And I'm telling you guys, as some of the people, when they do see me, or even bodybuilders and things at gyms, and people who see some of my stuff where they have seen my back, bodybuilders ask me, "Hey man, what's your secret for your back?" Like, heavy deadlifts, pin leg rows, weighted pull-ups. That's it. That's my magic secret. That's all you need. You get really strong at those, you're going to have a back. And it goes back to that point, the strength standards I give you guys. If you can do a weighted pull-up or a weighted chin-up from a dead hang with 100 pounds, you can get your deadlift up to 500, which I think any healthy young man should be able to deadlift 500 pounds. That's a totally achievable goal. Your back development's going to be there automatically. You're going to have a back. You're going to have a bigger back than 95% of guys walking in a gym. You're probably going to have a bigger back than a lot of the guys blasting gear at your gym. You probably will. Not all of them, but you're going to have a bigger back than a lot of them. So that's the secret. That's what you need, strength on those lifts. I feel like they wasted a lot of time talking about unilateral movements. I don't think unilateral movements are particularly useful, particularly effective. I think spending a lot of time on unilateral movements is a good way to stay small and weak. Eating up recovery. You could be doing real exercises. You'd be doing real exercises. And people try to talk about, well, what about unilateral muscle imbalances? That can be corrected with your technique. One arm movements, and I'm going to state this as I've said over and over again, are not a fix for unilateral imbalances. They can make it worse. If you're not careful using dumbbells or whatever else you're using to do unilateral stuff, you can make those imbalances worse. Furthermore, it becomes difficult to get enough resistance and weight to really build any appreciable muscle. So oftentimes you're playing around with little fluffy weights that are causing the problems. And it's kind of like they were talking about unilateral imbalances and they got into all this side to side, whatever. I don't know, man. That's like a West Coast bar thing. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do that till the internet. I've never even seen any of that till I saw people doing it online. I've never heard of that in all my years of training, of people doing this side-to-side stuff while hanging from the bar up there. And that's fine if that's what you want to do, but that seems like a sport-specific thing that's not necessarily going to give you back development. Furthermore, people who are worried about unilateral imbalances, they just had the whole talk about left to right imbalances and doing one-arm work to try to balance unilateral imbalances out. And what happens? Then they do something that could cause it, because is that a perfect every time? Like on every single rep when you do that, whatever side to side silly shit you're doing, are you going to do it completely even to the exact inch every time? No. So you're unevenly loading the muscles up there. You're creating imbalances. This is nonsense. You want to fix imbalances, fix your form, fix your technique. Adjust your grip. Make sure that you have your elbows and wrists and everything in the exact same position every time on your deadlifts, on your pull-ups, everything else. This is fixed by training with even loads, right? And this can be done with barbells. It can be done with pull-ups. Again, we can talk about the mixed grip on the deadlift. Learn to use the hook grip, guys. Hook grip, double overhand grip, straps if necessary. And I'm not a big fan of using straps unnecessarily, by the way. Be very, very careful with that. In fact, I would say anyone but really advanced lifters have no need for straps at all. Don't even own a pair. Till your deadlift is past 500 pounds without straps, you probably should not own a pair. I think that's fair. No place in it in your training programming. But again, keeping those things balanced, that'll fix all of that. That will fix those things. Again, mixed grip deadlifts can be a problem. Pulling unevenly. In fact, the one arm stuff I think is what creates half the imbalances that people have anyways. Those one arm dumbbell rows. Yeah. One arm cable rows. I think that's what's causing people's unilateral imbalances more than anything else other than oftentimes mixed grip deadlift. I think that's your culprits. Get rid of that silly shit and you don't create the problem to begin with. But going back to the point, weighted pull-ups, heavy deadlifts, pin leg rows off the floor, right? That's all you need for a massive, completely developed back. You can build a bigger back than either Jeff or Jesse has with those 3 exercises. But the point being made back to the face pulls and then the adjustment of the hand position on pull-ups and chin-ups, that stuff's golden. I'm going to agree with that. I think those are very, very important. I appreciate that he put those out. The other nonsense in the video, complete waste of time. Complete waste of your time, fluff and pump, create imbalances, waste your training resources, waste your recovery that could be spent on more effective exercises. That's my opinion on it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.